welcome. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Tanisha Avasthi. We have a lot of stories on this broadcast, but we are staying with our top story, that is the conflict between Israel and Iran. 6 angles that we will be telling you on the story. Now, the escalating Israel-Iran conflict is which is inching closer to World War III, and all the updates related to that. Now, 6 airports have been hit by Israel in Iran, which were of prime strategic importance. We'll get you the details on that. And with the same, there have been retaliatory strikes with Israel and Iran continuing to attack residential and military targets. Nick joins us live on that from Tel Aviv. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, who was officially entered into the war, has given a call for Make Iran Great Again, thereby suggesting a regime change. Russia isn't holding back either. Vladimir Putin has officially come out in support of Iran, saying that the United States' aggression was illegitimate. Meanwhile, a UNSC emergency meet has been convened, and we will get you the inside details on that as well. Pakistan is now stuck in its own web. Pakistan, who once wanted a Nobel Peace Prize for Donald Trump, is now going against the United States and backing Iran. So these are the 6 stories that we have lined up for you on this edition, starting first up with the top story. Israeli Defense Forces attacked 6 airports in Iran earlier today. Now, Israel's remotely manned aircraft destroyed 15 Iranian aircraft and helicopters. Now, in a statement, Israeli said that as a part of effort to deepen air superiority in Iranian skies, the IDF, that is the Israeli Defense Force, attacked 6 Iranian regime airports in western, eastern and central Iran. Now, the strikes damaged runways, underground bunkers and refueling plane, a F-14 and F-5 and AH-1 aircraft belonging to the Iranian regime. Israel also claimed that the aircraft that were destroyed were intended for using against Air Force aircraft and to thwart their attacks on Iranian territory. The Air Force disrupted the ability to take off these airports and operations of the Iranian army's power from them. So these are the details of the 6 airports that have been struck by Israel. Taking you through the details of these 6 airports that have been struck by Israel. Remember, Iran so far has not given a statement yet. The first airport that has been struck is Tabriz. Now, Tabriz is of prime significant importance. Second is that of Hamadan. Remember, these airports that we're talking about has a very, very close proximity to the other borders like Afghanistan, Turkmenistan and Syria as well. Now, the other airports that Israel claims to have attacked is in Tehran. Remember, Tehran has been one of the strategically important areas and airports as far as Iran is concerned. They also get their military aircraft from that area. Now, the other airport that was struck was Despul, which again has its borders very, very close to Afghanistan, Syria and Turkmenistan. Other one was Mashhad that was attacked among the 6 airports by Israel. The other one was Isfahan that was attacked. Remember, Isfahan has also been a very strategically important base as far as Iran is concerned, from where they operate their military operations. So these are the 6 airports that Israel claimed to have struck in Iran. Iran, remember, has so far not issued any statement on that so far. However, the damage seems to be severe. Nick, my colleague, is joining me live from Tel Aviv on that. Nick, has Iran issued any statement on what Israel claims that they have struck 6 airports in different areas in Iran that were of umpteen significance as far as their strategic bases are concerned?
Iran doesn't want to admit the superiority of Israel and Israel's complete control of the airspace of Iran and Israel's ability to destroy any military target whatsoever that Israel wants, including the helicopters and planes, warplanes, jets and airfields of Iran. But Israel says that they destroyed many of them over the last days and also today. But those strikes of Israel, it is not something that Israel wants to continue to do. Israel wants now to end this war, and also the United States asking to end the war because both countries understand that they achieved the main goal of destroying the nuclear program of Iran. And now this is the time Iran has to decide if they want to stop it now, or if they will continue, then probably Israel and the United States can target the leadership of Iran, the so-called supreme leader of Iran, Khamenei, which already is looking for people to succeed him and to be the next leaders of Iran, because he understands Israel can reach him even in his bunker where he is hiding from Israel, and he doesn't want that his son will be his successor, because he understands what will be the destiny of his son if actually he will take this position. Back to you.
Right, Nick. In fact, it was just on Saturday when Khamenei, in a social media post, had announced his successor. Nick, stay on with us, because we're moving to another angle in the same story where there have been retaliatory strikes as far as Israel and Iran are concerned. Now, we learned that these retaliatory strikes were carried on in different places, starting from both Israel and Iran. Now, in the recent pictures that you see on your screens, that is from today, an Israeli Air Force drone was shot down over the Khorramabad area in western Iran. Now, this happened in the morning. The IDF has confirmed following Iranian media reports. Now, the Iranian media reported that the drone was a Hermes model. Last week, the Israeli Air Force Hermes 900 UAV was shot down over Ishwa area. Now, Iran and Israel have continued to trade missiles as war between the long-time rivals entered its 11th day despite international calls for de-escalation. Fresh sirens were sounded in the northern Israel after Iran launched aerial assaults in multiple waves. Now, amid the exchange of salvos, a video emerged showing the moment an Iranian missile hit Israel's Ashdod city. The video is a dash cam footage which showed stones and debris that were flying in the air as the missile exploded at the side of the road near a moving vehicle. It was just moments later when the car windshield can be seen covered in dust as the driver sped away from the point of missile impact, the one that you see on your screens right now. Meanwhile, a suspected Israeli airstrike hit the gate of Iran's infamous Evin prison in Tehran, is what the Iranian state television reported. Surveillance footage aired by Iranian media appeared to show a drone strike targeting the facility, known for detaining political dissidents, dual nationals, and Westerners, often used as diplomatic bargaining chips. Even prison visuals, of which we will show on your screen right now, the even prison visuals, which is operated by Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which answers directly to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Nick, my colleague, continues to stay with me. Nick, we brought 3 cases for our viewers where it is a case of retaliatory strikes, of course. Where do you think, from an Israeli perspective, since you are reporting from Tel Aviv, how far do you think is Israel going to take this?
I think that Israel will continue to retaliate as long as Iran targeting civilian areas in Israel, what they are doing since the 13th of June. And Israel can't afford itself not to retaliate for that.
I am reading full about even prison. Right, Nick, again, thank you very much for getting us those details. We will keep coming back to you as and when there are updates in the story. But for now, we move on to the other stories that we are tracking. Now, this is a third angle that has come to the fore, and this is about Donald Trump's official role in entering the war. Remember, the United States President Donald Trump has publicly mused about potential regime change in Iran, despite previous assurance from senior figures in his administration that toppling the Islamic Republic was not an American goal. Meanwhile, Tehran threatened to retaliate for American strikes on its nuclear program by hitting the United States bases across region, and it continued to attack Israel. Now, during his presidential campaign, you would remember that Donald Trump had campaigned on the promise of no more wars. But global events have radically changed his views. Here is all that you need to know. United States President Donald Trump has ignited a firestorm with his call to make Iran great again. The phrase, very similar of his own Make America Great Again slogan, has sparked intense debate and scrutiny. A day after striking Iran's nuclear facilities, the United States President Donald Trump questioned whether there could be a change of government in Iran. Trump stated the current Iranian regime may not be capable to make Iran great again and asked, why wouldn't there be a regime change? In a series of social media posts, Trump praised the US military for the successful operation. Trump also confirmed that the B-2 stealth bombers used in the operation had landed safely back in Missouri. He added that the damage caused by the strikes was major. After the strikes, tensions in Middle East is escalating. The world is now watching closely to see how Iran will respond to the United States' attack on its nuclear facilities. As the international community, United States President Donald Trump has ignited a firestorm with his call to make Iran great again. The phrase, very similar of his own Make America Great Again slogan, has sparked intense debate and scrutiny. A day after striking Iran's nuclear facilities, the United States President Donald Trump questioned whether there could be a change of government in Iran. Trump stated the current Iranian regime may not be capable to make Iran great again and asked, why wouldn't there be a regime change? In a series of social media posts, Trump praised the US military for the successful operation. Trump also confirmed that the B-2 stealth bombers used in the operation had landed safely back in Missouri. He added that the damage caused by the strikes was major. After the strikes, tensions in Middle East is escalating. The world is now watching closely to see how Iran will respond to the United States' attack on its nuclear facilities. As the international community watches, one thing is clear. The future of United States and Iran relations hangs in the balance. Moving on, meanwhile, Iran has sought support from Russia, with Foreign Minister Abbas stating that he had held talks with the Russian President Vladimir Putin today. Now, in the inside details of the meeting, we learned that the Russian president said that there was no justification for the United States bombing of Iran and that Moscow was committed to helping the Iranian people. Now, Putin also told Abbas, the Iranian foreign minister, in the televised comments that the United States aggression was unprovoked. The absolutely unprovoked aggression against Iran has no basis and no justification. This is the exact quote of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, the Iranian foreign minister, we learned, told Russian president that Iran was conducting legitimate self-defense. He thanked Russia for condemning the United States action. He added, in fact, that Russia is on the side of history. So these are very strong statements that are coming in from Russia. The Russian openly going out to support Iran. Joining us live is Akiva Spiegelman. He is the media and international affairs consultant. Thank you, Akiva, for speaking to us. With Russia now coming out in full support of Iran and United States clearly giving out their view that they are backing Israel. In fact, they have struck the nuclear program as well. Do you think we are on the edge of the World War III with two big powers of the world now taking their own sides?
Wait,
And
I need you.
yes, can you hear me?
First of all, thank you for everything. I appreciate it. I think what we're seeing now is now that the United States stepped in and made what needed to be done, I think Iran is going to be monitoring very closely its own steps, meaning the more they push, the more they'll get, the more they'll be bombed by the U.S. forces. Trump was very clear in his initiative here. He said he wants no nuclear Iran. We think he managed that. And now Iran needs to make its own decisions of not going forward and making things much less hectic than they used to be.
Right. Akiva, thank you very much for sharing those details with us and speaking to us here on Republic. With that, we move on to the other stories that we are tracking now. The United States is on high alert as America's strike on Iran's nuclear sites has triggered global shockwave. Now, with Israel backing the United States and Iran vowing retaliation, the Security Council is now a battleground of warnings, defenses, and urgent calls for restraint. Here's the full story.
The United Nations, a house divided as the world confronts the fallout of America's lightning strike on Iran's nuclear program. At an emergency session of the Security Council, sharp lines were drawn. Israel's top diplomat mounted a fierce defense, standing firmly behind US's decision to act.
In the last 24 hours, history changed. The United States of America struck Iran's nuclear sites at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. It was a necessary act and a brave decision to remove the greatest threat to global security.
While Israel backed Washington's offensive, many close US allies pressed for restraint, calling for a return to negotiations before the region spirals into an uncontrollable war. At the center of the storm, the Secretary General, alarmed by the fast escalating conflict, warned the Middle East can no longer absorb another cycle of devastation.
I made a direct appeal: give peace a chance. That call was not heeded. Instead, the bombing of Iranian nuclear facilities by the United States marks a perilous turn in a region that is already reeling. From the outset of the crisis, I have repeatedly condemned any military escalation in the Middle East. The people of the region cannot endure another cycle of destruction.
The United States defended its actions with forceful clarity, declaring the strikes necessary to protect its citizens and its closest ally.
In recent weeks, Iranian officials have intensified their hostile bluster and rhetoric. Iran has long obfuscated its nuclear weapons program and stonewalled good faith efforts in recent negotiations. Madam President, the time finally came for the United States, in the defense of its ally and in the defense of our own citizens and interest, to act decisively. The Iranian regime cannot have a nuclear weapon. Let us be clear. Iran should not escalate.
But Tehran made its position equally clear. Iran's ambassador accused the United States of destroying diplomacy and vowed that Iran's response is no longer a question of if but when.
The timing, nature, and the scale of Iran's proportionate response will be decided by its armed forces. Throughout history, the resilient and united Iranian nation has withstood deeper wounded and faced more vicious enemies, and this time too. It will show its dignity, strength, and greatness to the world.
Across the chamber, some regional players condemned the strikes, others, quietly supportive, called for de-escalation, fearing the region may now descend into a deadly cycle of blow-for-blow retaliation. The tension inside the United Nations is a mirror of what is unfolding outside it. A Middle East on the edge. Just days ago, President Trump told the world that he would take 2 weeks to decide on military action, but that was to keep the world guessing and to strike Iran when its guard was down. 3 Iranian nuclear sites were struck, the war drums beating louder, and the world now waiting for Iran's next move.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan, remember, just few days back had thrown its hat into the ring to nominate none other than the United States President Donald Trump for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, that Nobel Peace Prize, the one that's supposed to honor folks who keep the world from turning into a geopolitical battleground. Now, the praised Trump's quote-unquote decisive diplomatic intervention in the cooling tensions between India and Pakistan, calling him a genuine peacemaker. Less than 48 hours later, Pakistan's foreign policy seems to have recalculated. After Trump greenlit United States airstrikes on Iran's nuclear site, the same folks who were ready to pin a peace medal on him are now clutching their pearls and condemning the strikes as a violation of the international law. So what's the deal? Was Pakistan's Nobel not just another gimmick to strengthen their military bandwidth by commissioning more American imports? And now that Washington has dared to strike, in fact, the deep and hard into the nuke strikes of their ally, why is this sudden backpedal?
अमेरिका मुर्दाबाद, इसराइल मुर्दाबाद। ईरान पर अमेरिका के हमले की हम पुरजोर मजम्मत करते हैं। ये ईरान की खुद मुख्तारी पर हमला है, मुस्लिम उम्मा पर हमला है।
ईरान पर हमले की शदीद मजम्मत करते हैं।
निकले जाओ जी। अमेरिका मुर्दाबाद, इसराइल मुर्दाबाद।
इमरान खान जिंदाबाद।
ईरान पर हमले की शदीद मजम्मत करते हैं।
ईरान पर हमले की शदीद मजम्मत।
अमेरिका इसराइल मुर्दाबाद।
अमेरिका इसराइल मुसलमानों के कातिल हैं।
अमेरिका मुर्दाबाद, इसराइल मुर्दाबाद।
इसराइल मुर्दाबाद, अमेरिका मुर्दाबाद, इमरान खान जिंदाबाद।
And that's what's all that we could pack in this edition of 6 Stories at 6. We will be back tomorrow with more agenda-setting news at sharp 6 p.m. Till then, don't go anywhere. Coming up next after the break is Live and Breaking.